back in a relatively empty room. In fact, let's get a new background. Maybe all the Tolkien books. That's all right. We're going to paint this house and sell it. So that's why all my fun stuff's gone off the walls. At some stage I'll have to move this. Anyway, we're doing more hobby stuff. It's been a few days since the last vlog went up. Quite a few people had very nice comments, just FYI. Mental health stuff's not fun. I do lots of other things to help that. It's not solely reliant on my ability to paint or not paint, but that is a side effect. So lovely comments, some really good suggestions in there for stuff that I could do moving forward. For now, we're going to keep pushing through with the Catapult Troll. So here's what we've been doing. So it is an absolute mess on this desk, but this is what we're working on, the actual catapult of the Catapult Troll. All I've done is base coat it. Some of the planks I've done different browns. I probably should have done more of them different browns, and I might still, but equally it does need to match this base, which is painted in a very specific way. So dry, sort of base coated and washed, and now I'll do a bunch of dry brushing to pick out all the highlights. Not particularly interesting to look at, but we're getting there. I'm not looking forward to stuffing up the rocks and getting grey on the wood, but hey, that's what we're doing here. All right, so this is, I start every clip like that. All right, okay. Anyway, this is where we're at. We've done one dry brush, so we'll do another little dry brush because I know there are people who are watching who don't know what I'm talking about. So dry brush is when you get a little bit of paint on your brush and you go over a detail like an edge here, and it gets brighter. It's probably hard to pick up on camera, but yeah, the edges are getting brighter. And I know there's better ways to do it, and people don't like it looking chalky, but I think this is fine. Anyway, so we'll keep doing that across the whole model, and then we'll assess the situation. Dry brushing is effectively done, and it is a bit strong in a couple of spots on this edge. There's a couple of splodges as well, but broadly, I'm happy with it. Most importantly, it matches the old bases, looks the same, which in my story, the Goblin Town, whatever supplies the wood to Goblin Town, supplies the wood to the Gundabad army, to the Catapult Troll. So happy with that. Dry brushing is effectively done. There will be touch-ups when I spill with other colours, particularly the metallics. And the other thing you'll note is I've started painting the stones. Now, I can hear Andrew or Beard Clipper in the comments saying stones aren't all grey, and you are correct. However, I paint my stones generally all grey. What I will do is wash these down with a black. When that's dry, I'll then wash it with a green and a brown, and then I'll dry brush highlight up to an almost white colour, from dark grey up to white, giving plenty of corners and sharp edges, and then at some stage I might even go in with some dirty down moss, but I'm not sure technically if these rocks would have moss on them because they've probably just been mined. But anyway, that's where we're at. And the thing is, even if I'm not totally sold on the dry brush at this stage, when you sit it on the troll and then you have a little bloke standing up here, you're not really going to be looking at the wood. You're not really going to be looking at the wood. So we push on. And we've done some more painting. Although I should point out, I am just horrendous while painting at keeping my desk clean. Just horrendous. What I think will be a one paint job takes 10. Okay, so here's where we're at. I don't actually remember what the last clip was. I think it was just doing the black wash on the grey rocks. Or potentially it was painting the grey rocks. I've come in and I've done all the metallics, all the little nails and the little bands, and there's a mixture of silver and like a tinny copper. It's called bits of tin, so I guess it's not copper. And what I should have done is washed that at the same time as the rocks, but we'll go in now and wash that. I only had one sort of error, which was up here, but you can't really see it. It's coming together. It's actually looking all right. I think we'll be fine. The issue is going to be in here. It's very shiny. I know JMac has this issue all the time. The Agrax is dried quite shiny, but if I matte varnish this, all the silver's going to dull. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. But anyway, the plan is wash all the metal, wash the rocks more colors, highlight that up, and then effectively the only thing we'll have left is going to be the ropes, which is going to take quite some time because it's fiddly, but not far off being sort of done, which is good. Well, I did the fucking goddamn thing. This is the old Agrax mix, which is way better, and I spilt it. And the annoying thing is I have a fucking this thing sitting right there. All right. It's November in Australia and I'm wearing an hoodie, which is a sign of my mental health deteriorating and or the weather changing. Update time. So here's where we're at. Everything has been dry brushed. The metal has been painted, not weathered, and the ropes have all been painted. Now, I think I'm going to highlight particularly the bigger rope. I don't think these ones really need the highlight. I quite like the outline that the wash caused. I know it's not super realistic. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to get a bit of silver weathering on the copper stuff, and then I will do a bit of a rust and a bit of a verdigris on the various metals. And then it's just some leather. And we're done with that. And then the actual hard part begins. That bloke. Okay, here is the situation we find ourselves in. We're selling our house. And it's happening quickly. And most of my stuff's all my desk is gone. So I've just got this computer desk. And I want to try and finish at least this stage of the paint job before this stuff has to go into boxes. So what do we need to do? So here we are. I've gone overboard in the weathering. So we're going to knock that back with some silver little detailing. Just a couple of dabs here and there. I'm not going to worry about these ropes. Might highlight up these. Don't have much time though. And then finally, I've got to paint the leather. That clearly is not going to have the attention that I originally intended. Again, I don't think that matters. That's it. That's all we're going to do. Then we're going to glue the little goblins on, and that's it. And then this goes in a box until I have, I guess, a new house in, I don't know, a few weeks, a couple months. I got no idea. Wish me luck. Well, because I was being lazy, I dropped a model and his fucking foot has snapped off. And it's somewhere in the mess of house moving stuff. I wish to die. Here it is. The first half, I guess it's half, of the Catapult Troll project is done. I just did some dry brushing on the leather here. It's not amazing. I just needed to get this done. Glued all the guys in place. They actually mostly went in place pretty well. Which was surprising. This guy's Arm was probably the hardest one. And this guy, but that's because I snapped him when I dropped him. Well, this is roughly what it looks like. I think it's come up pretty well. I've taken some shortcuts. It's not perfect, but I think it looks pretty good. I have no idea when I'm going to paint this bloke. I'd love to do it ASAP, but I just don't think that's feasible. And it might put an early end to the model count. Normally I do heaps over the Christmas period, sort of November, December, but it just doesn't seem likely at this stage. But we'll do what we can when we can. Yeah. Hopefully he's painted soon.